The valedictorians, Ms. Piya Sukhani, Master of Science, and Ms. Mariam Muhammad Hamim, Bachelor of Fine Arts, will now give their speeches.
Presiding officer, professors, fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen, I vividly recall my first day at NTU. I was standing inside the iconic hive, gazing up at the remarkable architecture of one of the world's leading educational institutions. I remember hearing the voice of my inner critic relentlessly remarking, "You are not smart enough to have landed a place here." Fast forward to today, as I'm standing inside this auditorium, I realized that I shouldn't underestimate myself, because that's the job of my Asian aunties. After voyaging through this NTU journey, which has been exhilarating at times and exhausting at others, I've gathered indispensable lessons that have totally revitalized my perspective from the time I started. Lessons I will carry for life, 3 of which I wish to share with you today. The first lesson is called, "You have wings. Don't hold on to the branches." When I commenced my NTU journey, I had this mounting sense of self-doubt. One of my professors astutely noticed this. He's seated right over here, Professor Alan Chong. He observed that I was always questioning my capabilities. And so one day, after class ended, he walked over to me and said, "Piya, you should really have faith in yourself, because I do. I know your potential. You can do this." His conviction in that single reassurance was so powerful that it left an indelible mark on me. I realized that sometimes that is simply what it takes. Just one person to hold up a mirror for you so that you can see your true worth, so that you can be reminded that you have wings and you can fly. Dear faculty members, thank you for doing the same for many students like myself and enabling us to recognize our potential when we couldn't see it for ourselves. The Brazilian philosopher Paulo Freire wrote that what the educator does in teaching is to make it possible for the students to become themselves. Dear educators, you've made it possible for us students to become ourselves. I have learned that when we realize who we truly are, we don't need to constantly hold on to the branches of self-doubt. When we embrace our inherent strengths with self-confidence, we can assuage our fears, alleviate our insecurities, and allay our inner critic. Then we can rise to soaring heights. This was lesson 1. You have wings. Don't hold on to the branches. The second lesson I learned was from you, dear graduating class of 2022. This lesson is called, "You need to master internal stillness to transform the external chaos." When I joined NTU, I sought to discover solutions to the multiple challenges confronting the world. The world as we know it is terribly fragmented by a myriad of issues, social, political, economic, ecological. I realized that as we articulate a vision to resolve the complex nexus of these problems, we often tend to seek solutions outside of ourselves. But through my conversations with many of you and my observations on the work that you do or intend to, I've learned that we also need to turn our lens inwards and espouse an inside-out approach to reimagine our future. To just cite a few examples, those of you who are fighting environmental degradation have shown me how you lead your lives with inner sustainability. Those who are focused on countering violent extremism have embodied inner peace. Those who specialize in bridging interreligious conflicts have exemplified inner harmony. To paraphrase Gandhi, you were really being the change that you want to see in the world. You, dear classmates, have illustrated that true education is not merely the pursuit of information, because what good is the pursuit of information if it cannot lead towards transformation? You have demonstrated by example that when there is transformation inside us, it will eventually be reflected in transformation outside us. This is, like we heard in the commencement address, the power of one in action. Indeed, the fundamental root of many of the global predicaments today are embedded in selfishness and greed. And so if we do not transform collectively to foster inner sustainability, inner peace, inner harmony, then the loud cacophony of issues outside us are not going to cease. This was lesson 2, master internal stillness to transform the external chaos. The final lesson is called the wisdom to love. This lesson was taught by the angels of love seated here, our parents, family members, and close friends who have been our unwavering pillars of strength. Thank you for anchoring us whenever we faced turbulence on this NTU journey. There were several days when I found myself locked in darkness, languishing in numbness. But I'm profoundly grateful for my angels who have radiated their light of love, which has healed me from the wounds of personal failure. The truth is that life may often be overwhelming and confusing. We are all bound to experience some form of failure. This is inescapable. At such times, it's easy to slide down the path of cynicism. But with love, you have given me the courage to hope. With love, you taught me that every failure is, in fact, an opportunity for growth, if not a blessing in disguise. You taught me that it is through love that we will muster the strength to stand up after being set back. My spiritual teacher, Satya Sai Baba, always said that the end of knowledge is love. I didn't understand this before, but thanks to all of you, I've understood now. I realized that in this crucible of life, knowledge can only take us so far. What will take us beyond is love. Today, as we students leave the portals of NTU, we are all reservoirs of knowledge, but we need love to guide us beyond. Irrespective of whatever we do and wherever we go, if we perennially rely on the compass of love to lead us, then we can serve the world to become a better place. This was my final lesson. We need to transcend beyond knowledge. We need wisdom, the wisdom of love, the wisdom to love. Dear classmates, I offer my warmest congratulations to all of you, as well as my heartfelt gratitude to each of you for completing this remarkable journey with me. As we begin the next chapter in our lives, I urge all of you that just like our professors reminded us that we can fly, we too must now take this role forward by supporting others to reach their soaring potential. As we fly, we need to raise those around us, enabling them to spread their wings, reminding them to not hold on to the branches. I encourage all of you to not only seek solutions outside, but also turn your lens within when we are confronted with external challenges, because when we master internal stillness, we can better transform the external chaos. And finally, let us all remember to always, in all ways, be led by love. Thank you.